What's up, everybody, and welcome to the HexxedPhenom Gamescast, the show that brings you the video game news you need to know each and every week. It goes live every Saturday on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom and on podcast services around the globe, places like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, really any podcast service of your choosing. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Wojcik, a.k.a. HexxedPhenom, and I'm joined by the abstract rocker, JP. JP, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. It's definitely been interesting with weather, but other than that,
yeah,
pretty damn good. Craving pizza, actually.
I feel that.
Yeah, I got some downstairs. I think I might heat that bad boy up after the podcast.
But JP, real quick, before we get into the news of the week, is there anything that you've been playing that you want to talk about?
Well, I've been jonesing on Far Cry, making a lot of progress. Rise Republic is really damn interesting, so I have to play more of that. There's quite a few games that I need to play. Been doing Dead by Daylight and Hot Wheels Unleashed. I need to actually get on still. It's been tempting me. It's just between slamming two jobs for the time being and making the schedule kind of work out. It's interesting, so we'll eventually get to them.
Well, one of our stories today actually is about Dead by Daylight, so.
Ooh,
but, JP, speaking of games that have come out recently, there's actually two games that came out today that I want to talk about that I've been playing a little bit. And so, I have little rants about both games. So, I'll try to get through them as quickly as possible, because I know I have to wake up early for work tomorrow, but... So the first one I'll talk about is the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. That is the PS5 version of Uncharted 4 and Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Now, of course, I mean, it's, these games are already beautiful. They're great games. They're even more beautiful. The different graphics modes, all that, all the bells and whistles. It's great. My complaint about it, JP, has nothing to do with the game itself necessarily. It's to do with the trophies, okay, JP? So I don't know what the fuck Naughty Dog was fucking doing over there. But they're like, hey, let's fuck everybody over, right? So
all right.
So Uncharted 4 and Uncharted The Lost Legacy are two separate games, right? So on the PS4, they have two separate platinums because they're two separate games. On the PS5 version, both games have one platinum between the two of them. But, okay, so what they did was they made the Lost Legacy trophies DLC trophies, which means there couldn't be a second platinum because there's some weird thing with DLC trophies where you can't add platinums to a game. So they listed them as DLC trophies for some reason, and so there couldn't be a second platinum for the game. But then on top of that, what they decided to do is they took... And both trophy lists are exactly the same, except they took the trophy that you would earn from earning all of the trophies in Lost Legacy, and they made that a trophy in the base Uncharted 4 list. So now to get the Uncharted 4 Platinum on PS5, you need to do all of the requirements to Platinum Uncharted 4, and then also do all the requirements to Platinum Uncharted The Lost Legacy, but you'll only get one Platinum for doing that. So you essentially need to platinum both games, but only get one platinum out of it, which is really fucking stupid. But other than that, of course, I'm still going to play through them. They're still great games, but it is really fucking stupid that this is the way that they decided to do that. Especially because, granted, it wasn't made by Naughty Dog, but on the PS4, there was the Uncharted The Nathan Drake collection, which was 3 separate games, and each game had a platinum. So I don't understand why they did it this way. I don't know if it was done on purpose or not, but hopefully it gets fixed. I don't know if they will fix it, if stuff like that can even be fixed after the game's been certified and released. I don't know. We will see. But that did piss me off when I figured that out. The other game that I've been playing today, JP, that also released today is Pokemon Legends Arceus. And let me tell you, I played the game... I played the game for the last 5 hours on stream almost, GP, and I still don't know how I feel about this game. And that is odd.
I was wondering how the game... It's odd. I was wondering what was going on because a lot of my friends were freaking out about Pokemon today, and I had no idea exactly what the fuck was going on.
So I think it's going to be very divisive. I think people are going to either love it or hate it. And I don't know where I stand right now. I'm definitely leaning more towards hate it, but so basically, and I think it in general it's a good thing that they decided to try to really shake up the Pokemon formula. There's no gyms, there's no like, getting 8 badges, like any of that stuff. It is, you literally just go out in this giant like open world, like just giant open fucking field, and you just go looking for Pokemon. You have a team of Pokemon with you, just like a normal Pokemon game, and you use those Pokemon to battle wild Pokemon. And there are different versions of wild Pokemon. Like there will be alpha Pokemon who are like bigger and stronger and can learn rare moves. And there's like a bunch of stuff that they added, but it also feels like they took so much away from what makes Pokemon Pokemon that it feels like a weird knockoff game. Which is weird because it's not a knockoff game, it's still a Pokemon game. So, and then another thing they did, which I, again, can't tell how I feel about it, is it seems like the main focus of this game is completing the Pokedex, which like is basically just a list of all the Pokemon in the game. But normally the way you would do that is just by catching every Pokemon. You gotta catch them all, of course. But the way you do it in this game is like every single Pokemon in the game has a different list of objectives that you have to complete that are relating to that Pokemon. Like it'll be like, oh, defeat like this amount of this Pokemon, or like defeat this amount with a fire type move, or catch like 5 of them, or like just a bunch of random stuff. So you can't just catch one of each Pokemon and call it a day. Like you have this whole list of objectives for each Pokemon that you have to do. And I just feel like it's trying to pad the length of the game too much. So, like, I don't even know how long the game actually is, but I don't know. I'm going to be playing it more on stream tomorrow. Hopefully it does something that can grab my attention, because right now, honestly, after tomorrow's stream, I really don't even know if I want to play it anymore. And that sucks because I spent $60 on it. But that's my own fault. But
$60.
But
I don't blame you.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know. I mean, granted, like I'm not this like huge hardcore Pokemon fan that's played every single game, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like this game's going to be really divisive, though, to say the least.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering. The concept just sounds flat as fuck to me, really. But the hardcore Pokemon fans are probably gonna find a way to like it somehow. Which is all the power to them. It's just seeing how they stripped away what makes kind of what it is really weird. I'm not surprised they add the objectives to every Pokemon, but that just sounds redundant because it's just there's Pokemon you just don't want to use, and now you have to use them. It's just,
you don't necessarily have to use them. Usually the objectives aren't even about using them. It's literally like, so like there's tiers to the different Pokedex challenges. So it'll be like, oh, catch 1, catch 2, catch 5, 10, 15, 20, and stuff like that. And each, milestone you do earns you more XP for that Pokedex entry or whatever. And once you get a specific Pokedex entry to level 10, then it's considered complete. But
okay.
You do have to complete it for each species of Pokemon. And that includes like, there's a separate list even for like evolutions of the same Pokemon. So like, let's say you start with Charmander. You have to do all those objectives for Charmander. Then once you find Charmeleon, you have to do all those objectives again. And then once you find Charizard, it's another list of objectives. And it's like, I don't know how I feel about this, because I don't know if there's a confirmed number, but I think it's like 280 Pokemon in the game. And I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that to get the true ending, you have to complete almost all of the Pokedex. So that sounds like a fucking grind. So
how many fucking Pokemon are there right now? It's astronomical.
Total, I think there's over 1,000 now, but I think there's only 280 something in this game.
So that means there's 10,000 things to essentially do. There's levels. That's fucking crazy.
Well, if there's 280 Pokemon in this game, I'd say there's like roughly 1,000 things to do. Yeah.
Okay.
1,000 like Pokedex objectives, but some Pokemon have more objectives to do than others. It's a whole thing, but yeah. So I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of fucking. It's a bunch of busy work. Like it's literally just repetitive shit that isn't fun. Like the fun part of Pokemon to me is the trainer battles and going to the gyms and like making sure you have a good set of Pokemon to get you through a certain gym, because that certain gym will focus on a certain type of Pokemons, whether it be fighting or fire or grass or whatever. So making sure you have the right build to get through that gym is important. But as far as I know, there's no gym battles. I've played for 5 hours and I've only battled a trainer twice. Other than you're just battling wild Pokemon out in the world. And I'm like this, I don't think this is fun. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not having a great time, but we'll see. Maybe something crazy happens that turns it around. I think I'm about to encounter the first like boss battle type thing, so we'll see if that's any fun, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, those are just 2 mini rants I wanted to go off on about the 2 games that I played today.
Oh, I'm gonna post a podcast episode from last week and build this one.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. But JP, let's jump in to the news stories for this week. We have, I believe, 7 of them. So here's one that's a continuation from last week. A clarification, if you will, because if you guys don't remember, last week was just a blowout of us talking about Microsoft potentially acquiring Activision. They're attempting to. We still don't know, obviously, if it'll go through in Congress and all that stuff. But we got an update of that Microsoft wants to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, Phil Spencer says. This is by Cass Marshall at Polygon. Phil Spencer shared a brief update on Twitter. This was on January 20th, so this is old-ish news by now, but the news of Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, first announced on Tuesday, is enormous for the games industry. The full details of what this means for some of the most popular online titles, however, have not yet been revealed. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, took to Twitter to say that Microsoft won't be pulling Call of Duty off of PlayStation with this new acquisition. Quote, "Had calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry and we value our relationship." End quote. While this news is promising for PlayStation users who also enjoy Call of Duty, it's not a comprehensive statement. It's possible that the situation could change in the future. For instance, a new mainline Call of Duty title and campaign could be exclusive to Microsoft's platforms, while the free-to-play Warzone remains multi-platform. The word desire also indicates that it isn't fully set in stone and that there may be complex negotiations on the topic. While this tweet suggests there's nothing to worry about anytime soon, it feels like there's a lingering but that is yet to be addressed. In the meantime, here's the full rundown. So, yeah, this is exactly how I read into this statement, is that he says, we want to keep it on PlayStation, but, and I'm still sticking by the statement that Phil Spencer has probably said to Sony, hey, we want to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, but only if you let us put Game Pass on PS5. And I highly doubt PlayStation's going to let that happen.
Yeah, and I mean, if that happens, then whatever. I guess I'm not buying Call of Duty because, I'm not buying a fucking Xbox for Call of Duty. I mean, it's Call of Duty's not barely worth it right now, let alone buying another system for it. Like, yeah, So if they want to shoot themselves in the foot with sales, I mean, they could do that. I mean, they don't really need to make money, but I can already tell you, people on the internet, as soon as they get the sales figures, they're immediately going to be like, well, this is the least popular Call of Duty.
Well, I mean, it could potentially be the least popular in terms of dollar sales, but it'll have at least 25 million built-in players on Game Pass. So, I mean, it's definitely pros and cons. I mean, I saw another report come out that said that at least the next 3 Call of Duty releases will hit PlayStation, which is Infinity Ward's game coming up this year, which is believed to be a second Modern Warfare 2, as I like to call it, Modern Warfare 2. And then the next Black Ops game in 2023, which I like to refer to as Black Ops 2, because the current rumor is that it'll take place around the same time period as Black Ops 2.
So we could assume it's Black Ops 5.
I could see it being a reboot, kind of, and then they just focus on like a near future timeline. But I don't know, because I don't know. Black Ops 5, I feel like people wouldn't care about as much as a reboot. But I also feel like if you reboot it and don't include Alex Mason, somehow people will be pissed. I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I really think since I thought they would have just stopped Black Ops like insert number after the third one. But since they were dumb enough to do Black Ops 4, you might as well do the 5, because I think that'd be really cool to see an artwork. But like they should really stop after 5 with a Black Ops number insert. Or they could just do, it could be called Black Ops 2025. They could just take a shot at Battlefield. That might be what they do. That'd be kind of cool. or Black Ops 2030 or something.
I think the best course of action, everyone says they want Black Ops 2 back. Just call it Black Ops 2 2. There you go.
Can you imagine that? Black Ops 2.
It'll be Black Ops and then Roman numeral 2 and then the number 2 next to it.
2.
Yeah, and then the third title is set to be the leakers are calling it Warzone 2. I don't think they'll ever release a game called Warzone 2. I think it's just going to be a next gen like version of Warzone, essentially. Like the one that people have been asking for with the FOV slider and, you know, updated graphics and stuff. I don't think it's going to be a full-on, like... I don't think it's going to be as big of a thing as we're letting it out to be. Like, I'm sure alongside that release will be a new map and stuff and new weapons, but, like, I don't think it's going to be anything huge.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be anything huge. Honestly, by then, Warzone could probably derail itself. So, stay tuned.
Warzone already derailed itself. People have been complaining about problems with Warzone since the new map came out.
I always wondered how they were going to fucking do what they said they were going to do. They're like, yep, we're going to have a World War II map and modern warfare weapons. I'm like, that's not going to fucking work, but whatever, knocks your socks off. I mean, I could really care less if Warzone went offline tomorrow. Honestly, I wouldn't lose any sleep over that one. I'm sure the kids would cry about it, but yeah, you know, it's just I don't know. Like Warzone 2, it's clearly just going to be, it's not going to be called Warzone 2. It's just going to probably be a next gen version. There will definitely be 3. I could see 3 Call of Duties definitely hitting, because they can't just come in the middle of 23 and go, well, we're changing course for this game. There's no fucking way that's going to happen. So I could assume 3 CODs are going to still.
Well, yeah, according to these leakers, it's fall 2022, which is this year, will be Modern Warfare 2, and then spring of 2023 will be Warzone 2, and then fall 2023 will be Black Ops 2. And then honestly, like once Microsoft, if this acquisition goes through, Microsoft will have ownership of them in June. So then I could see them easily just being like, whoever is working on the next COD at that point, I guess it would be Sledgehammer. I could see them being like, you know, we'll give you an extra year to work on this game. So no release in 2024. And then at that point, yeah, then that would be the end of the...
Something tells me they're not even going to do that. I don't know. It just seems too practical. I feel like they're going to fuck that up somehow. That's just how the gaming industry is. I mean,
that is how the gaming industry is, but you also have to, think about the fact that Xbox, I think that Xbox, while yes, they obviously care about recouping money, they care more about, recently at least, about the quality of their games. Because, they booted Halo Infinite for an entire year, and it missed the launch of their console by an entire year. So, if they feel a game needs to be booted or needs extra time, then they'll give it the extra time it needs.
But Halo Infinite is very controversial with all the crap that wasn't in at launch. It still didn't really fit the bill for delaying it that long. My friends were fucking raging that it didn't have the co-op campaign. I don't know.
I think that's just like, yeah, that stuff sucks, but I also feel like it's more of a result of what they want Halo Infinite to be, because they want Halo Infinite to be this big, like, live service game that is constantly getting new updates. So I don't know if this is true, but I feel like they purposefully cut that stuff out and held it off for a future release just so that they can, drum up a big hype cycle in 6 months when it's like, now available co-op campaign on Halo Infinite. And then 3 months later, they could be like, now available Halo Forge is now in Halo Infinite. That's just what being a live service is. Any multiplayer game that releases now is going to have content. A lot of content is done at launch that they just cut out and are like, okay, well, we can drip feed this over the next 2-3 months and not have to worry about it.
So basically the concept of DLC except magnified.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Halo was a bad game to start that on because immediately, basically they just got shit on by a lot of people, and I don't know.
No,
Like,
all multiplayer games do that nowadays. It's just that
oh, I know, but Halo.
this is the first Halo that has done it. But that's just the direction the industry's gone. Seasonal content, all that bullshit.
Oh, I know, but it's just as time goes on with certain series, like you're gonna see a shit ton of backlash, and I don't know. Like I know a lot of friends that just said they're done with Halo after this. I don't know. So it's just it can go either way. Like I said, I wish them the best, but they could easily fucking blow this. Like I don't know. It's just I don't know. Like the way that I could see it going down is so I just got a random message. So the thing was for me thinking about what Call of Duty is going to do if they really pushed another year. I really kind of hope they do that, but at the same time, at that point where COD is, I don't even know if a lot of people are going to be like, they're probably just going to be like, all right. Something tells me the Sledgehammer game is going to come out as planned. And the one after that that's being developed is probably going to be the one that gets pushed because then that studio is going to be just starting out projects and drafting for that and probably concepting. So then they could be like, oh, well, we could do a lot more now. We didn't even start fully building the game. Now we got an extra year. So, and no one knows what it's going to be. So,
well, that would be Infinity Ward's game by the time Sledgehammer's game releases. So they'd be 2 years into to another dev cycle already.
Yeah. So it should be quite interesting. I mean, Infinity Ward's games bore me to death anymore. I think the Modern Warfare reboot was a disaster. Besides cashing in, that's all it did. I don't really see where the hell a second game's gonna go.
Leakers are claiming Modern Warfare 2 is going to be the end of the reboot, which it's weird that it's weird to me that they would only do 2 and not a trilogy. But I'm not necessarily complaining, but
I don't know what the hell they're gonna do in it. I mean, really put in the specs like Modern Warfare 2019. I didn't even buy it at launch. I got it for Christmas because I wasn't going to waste my money on that. The second one, it's going to play out the same way. And then I'll probably make some money off it on Amazon or give it to somebody. I don't know. It's a throwaway game, personally. I mean, I like seeing the characters and the campaign is usually good. But man, dude, they really fucked up with the reboot. Like, I don't know. I can clearly tell they did it because they can't make a game to save their lives, so they had to make Modern Warfare again. I mean, that's really what it adds up to. Now, if they made a new original game and it really did well, I'd be really really happy. But seeing how Infinite Warfare completely shit the bed, and yeah, they were probably like, well, guys, we got to make money, so you got to make Modern Warfare. I don't know. I wish them the best, but they're definitely not the same studio they were years ago. I can tell you that. But yeah, we'll have to see what they do with it though. Like they can play whatever they want. If it becomes Xbox exclusive, I'll just easily be just like, oh, whatever. I'm done playing COD. Simple as that. It's not worth really getting another console for at all.
Yeah, at least in its current state, I 100% agree.
Current state, it's just like I like playing COD. Then you know, I love Vanguard, I love Cold War, but like if this let's say this whole thing happened during Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare, would you go buy an Xbox for that? I sure as hell wouldn't.
No. The only one I would consider maybe is Cold War, but even then, like, just to play zombies, no. As much as I liked Cold War zombies, no.
Yeah, it's just like I said, balls in their court, but if they really want to strangle the crap out of Call of Duty and just make it a free to play game, essentially, they could, I guess they can go and do that. But yeah. Oh,
I mean, Call of Duty is already monetized like it's a free to play game, but like. Well, speaking of Activision Blizzard won't recognize Raven Software QA Workers Union. The union will now file with the National Labor Relations Board for a vote. This is by Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon. Quality assurance workers at Raven Software, a subsidiary of Activision Blizzard, a unionization push with the Communications Workers of America. A group called Game Workers Alliance is the first group of workers to form a unit under Activision Blizzard. Workers are asking the company to voluntarily recognize the union, which has the support of the supermajority of Raven Software QA workers, 78% of the eligible workers, a CWA representative told Polygon. Some Raven Software QA workers have been on strike since early December after Activision Blizzard denied new contracts for 12 members of the QA team. The strike of several dozen workers, according to the Washington Post, has no end date, and management has not yet responded to workers' demands. Quote, today I am proud to join with a supermajority of the fellow workers to build our union, Game Workers Alliance. Raven Software QA tester Becca Agner, I apologize if I butchered that name, said it in a news release. Quote, in the video game industry, specifically Raven QA, people are passionate about their jobs and the content that they are creating. We want to make sure that the passion for these workers is accurately reflected in our workplace and that the content we make, our union, is how our collective voices can be heard by leadership. End quote. According to the CWA, Activision Blizzard has not cooperated with the worker organizers. Instead, it's, quote, used surveillance and intimidation tactics, including hiring notorious union busters to silence workers, end quote. Quote, we ask that Activision Blizzard management respect Raven QA workers by voluntarily recognizing CWA's representation without hesitation, end quote. Communication Workers of America Secretary Treasurer Sarah Steffens said in a statement, quote, a collective bargaining agreement will give Raven QA employees a voice at work, improving the games they produce and making the company stronger. Voluntary recognition is the rational way forward, end quote. On Tuesday, Microsoft, to acquire Activision Blizzard. Update on January 21st, Activision Blizzard has issued a statement regarding the Alliance request for voluntary recognition. Basically says that they are carefully reviewing the request, which seeks to organize around 36 of the company's nearly 10,000 employees. Activision Blizzard announced Tuesday, and then update January 25th, Activision Blizzard announced Tuesday that it will not voluntarily recognize Raven Software's union. The company's full statement is as follows. And then it's just a bunch of load of bullshit. I'm not going to read it. It's basically just them trying to union bust, essentially.
That's another thing that worries me about the whole Microsoft thing is by the time they even get their hands on this freaking studio, it's going to be another thing. Like, who's going to give a shit at that point? I mean, it just seems like every single week we have all these. It just seems like the reputation of the studio is getting completely dragged through the mud to the point where maybe they're doing it on purpose. I don't really know, but by the time they acquire these studios, are people even going to give a damn? They're going to be like, Call of Duty, but it's made by Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know. And especially, you know, how if you guys have been following, we've been talking about this topic for every single episode. There's an Activision Blizzard thing with the whole things going on, the allegations and the court. I feel like, you know, that's cool that you know, they'll be getting Call of Duty and all this stuff that they could possibly fool around with. But at the rate people are reacting to this whole thing, I don't even know if many people are going to really care when it happens. I kind of, like I said, I wish them the best of luck, but it seems like every single week there's new crap that comes out that just drags them through the mud. Like this week, it's the union bust. I just don't get it.
I mean, that's a great point, though, is like how much more bad rep is this company going to get in the next 18 months before they're finally acquired by Microsoft? And by then, will it be too late to salvage the company's name? And I mean,
it's a very good point.
Yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
Because either what's going to happen in these 18 months is that the companies are going to start unionizing, standing away from Bobby Kotick and everybody, or you're going to see these groups of people that support certain things, but realistically they're all divided in the studio. And we all know how people get political and start fighting over things. The union would be one in that office space probably, but it's crazy. It could easily go belly up before Microsoft even has the chance to grab it. Who knows? Microsoft could even probably pull the plug on it if they don't want to asset that. Maybe it's not worth, the risk.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they acquire it, they acquire the reputation of that studio. But
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Definitely will be quite a series of events that we'll be guaranteed to talk about on here probably every week.
Yeah, and that's the thing is now this union instead has to go off to some type of vote. It didn't mention in the article, but there's, I believe that workers or the, I can't remember what, I X'd out the article, so whatever that group was called, the Collective Workers Alliance or whatever.
Yep.
I believe they get to vote on it now, whether the union is recognizable or not or whatever. But so basically, I think if that goes through, I believe by law, Activision then has to recognize it. But it's basically just, will you willingly recognize it without having to make a whole like scene of it, which obviously they didn't do. So, which isn't surprising to me, but.
Yep, exactly right.
I'm actually going to cut down a few news stories here just because I don't think we need to talk about them. They're not super important. This one, JP, might be important. I don't know. The Rock is doing another video game movie, so let's consider the possibilities. This is by Austin Goslin over at Polygon. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is getting ready to star in another video game movie, according to a recent interview with Men's Journal about his upcoming superhero movie. The Men's Journal interview specifically mentions that Johnson has worked with Microsoft and Xbox in the past, which seems like a very pointed question unless that's who he's teaming up with next. While the first option that springs to mind might be Gears of War, Johnson only offered a few hints in his interview answer. Quote, "I can't tell you which game in particular we're doing, but there will be an announcement this year," Johnson told Men's Journal. Quote, "We're going to bring one of the biggest, most badass games to the screen, one that I've played for years. I'm really excited to bring it to fans around the world. Of course, we're going to do right by our gamer friends, but really, we're just going to make a great movie," end quote. Whatever the movie, it won't be Johnson's first foray into video game films. That honor goes to Doom, the incredible misbegotten shooter adaptation from 2005. More recently, The Rock starred in Rampage, which was loosely based on the arcade game, which was somehow much worse than Doom. This isn't even counting Johnson's roles in the Jumanji remake, where he's technically a video game character. With such a checkered past, there's not a lot of reason to be optimistic about Johnson's video game project, but here's our worst guesses. These are their worst guesses. Viva Pinata, which I would love to see The Rock in a Viva Pinata movie. Fortnite.
Oh, God. Fortnite.
Another Doom movie, which would be interesting. And the Mario movie.
Okay, so, that's definitely one I do not want to see him in at all. That would actually be, you know.
With the casting they've done so far, though, would that surprise you? Because it wouldn't surprise me.
You know, actually, well, that's a wow. I don't know. It kind of just, my mind just kind of goes blank when I try making the connection between the two. I mean, the casting would not surprise me. Visually seeing it happen would be kind of, I don't.
Well, keep in mind, this Mario movie isn't live action. It's CG animated. It's just voice acting.
I'm just trying to picture his voice. Like, I just can imagine if he played Mario, I'd be like, if you have something.
Well, remember, JP, Chris Pratt is playing Mario.
Yeah, that alone is another distraction.
But I'm trying to think. What if The Rock was just like the Goomba or something? Or like, I don't know. Something like that.
All right, Dwayne. You are a AAA movie star and larger than life. We need you to go in that sound booth and make a lot of weird noises that are on the sheet of paper. He'd be like, "You guys want me to do the..." I just...
What if they cast him as the shy guy and he just doesn't say anything the whole movie?
Damn,
it's just him being silent.
Damn, that sounds like some easy fucking money right there.
And then at some point he goes meow meow, and that's it.
And then like Shy Guy just gives someone a rock bottom, and that's the rep.
Rock bottom.
I don't know. A Fortnite movie would be really stupid. Viva the Pinata would be really interesting. I don't know. That might actually work. That's the crazy off the wall.
I don't even know if Microsoft still owns the IP to that. I assume they do, but like I haven't heard of that game in like 10 years.
That game is fucking old. In fact, let's see. Viva la Pinata, right?
Just Viva Pinata, I believe.
Whoops. So I remember when that fucking game came out. I just want to make sure the date in my mind adds up. Yep, 2006. I was like, it had to be the mid 2000s because around
that's the most mid 2000s ass game.
And THQ published it, and at the same time, about actually right around that date, actually 4 days prior, SVR 2007 came out, which was also published by THQ.
Nice.
Very stacked. Viva Pinata. You know what? I think The Rock being a pinata would be really cool. Wow. Jesus. I never thought the topic would be so entertaining.
I think realistically speaking, though, if he specifically called out Xbox, then like it has to be some sort of Xbox IP, and Gears of War makes the most sense. But I know Batista would be fucking pissed because he's been campaigning to play Marcus Phoenix in a God of War, Gears of War movie forever. I mean, it could be that both Batista and The Rock are in the movie, but we'll see. I don't know. Guys, let us know if you're watching on YouTube in the comments below what movie you think The Rock is going to star in. Fuck it. Put The Rock in a Crash Bandicoot movie. Fuck it.
Yes.
Let's just fucking go full send. Yes. I want The Rock to be Crash Bandicoot.
What if they made a Crash Bandicoot movie and The Rock was actually in it? Wow. Wow.
I want Crash to be The Rock. He's voiced by The Rock, and it's just The Rock doing a really bad Australian accent the whole time. And that's how he portrays Crash Bandicoot. That's what I want. But yeah, let us know in the comments below what you think this Rock movie is going to turn into. But JP, this news story is for you, bud. Okay. Dead by Daylight's next season is all about Saw with new Jigsaw lore.
Yes, I was trying to understand that myself. I don't know. I was very interested because, okay, the thing for a lot of people who don't know what the hell Dead by Daylight is in terms of the season content. Okay, so from the 13th of every month to the 13th of the next month, Friday the 13th, they have a season where you could be a killer or a survivor. You go across 4 different grades that go from 4, 3, 2, and 1 in terms of numerals, but how good you are progressing through the season. So there's always some kind of lore in the actual seasons that may or may not be right before you boot the game up. I think they have a cutscene or something. I was really kind of curious because they were advertising like a Japanese anime kind of thing because they have Baby Yaga, who's like a killer. I'm like, this is really strange. And then I started seeing the Saw references and anime crossover into this other thing. And I'm like, this is really strange. But the good news is every time there is a lore based around a story, if they do have a pack, those characters, like when you say, if you buy the Saw chapter, you get Amanda Young, who's the Jigsaw killer in the mask. You get Detective Tapp as a survivor. So, and then you get the Gideon meat plant. So the killer and the survivor go center stage again, and that DLC is highlighted. If it's not in the game, it debuts in the game, and it keeps rolling through that way. It's really strange. It's really cool and successful for them. But yeah, it kind of just comes out of nowhere, and you have to kind of pick up the pieces of the lore, and you're like, oh. But I did notice some cheeky references to Saw, and I was very excited to see the killer and the survivor highlighted again. So I'm very excited.
Yeah. Well, it seems, from the outsider's perspective, Dead by Daylight definitely seems like almost like the Smash Brothers Ultimate of like horror franchises. Because I swear I always hear about things coming to Dead by Daylight. Like there's always like, oh, Resident Evil and like, oh, this and like, oh, Michael Myers and Ghost or like the fuck can't I think of the name? Scream. And all this other stuff. And I'm just like, holy shit.
It's interesting because the game you play is a trial. It's a simulation trial, and it's in a different reality. But the concept is, and obviously that Friday the 13th and now the Texas Chainsaw game tried to rip off, and it's going to fail miserably, is that the killer goes to sacrifice people, and the survivors do the generators and get out. Um, but yeah, it's been played to death from other series. So at least Dead by Daylight honestly gets more popular by the day because as you see, Friday the 13th game, that was a fucking disaster. Like there's so many games trying the exact formula, and it honestly leads people back to Dead by Daylight. And it's really cool. There's a second game coming. It's not announced yet. There's a rumor that's going to be in fall 23, probably around Halloween. There is also a rumor that the DLC from Dead by Daylight will carry over into the sequel because it's going to be a next gen engine of what they have. So that'd be really cool. That's a great way to keep everything rolling. Kind of reminds me of Rock Band and Guitar Hero, how they transfer the tracks over. But yeah, so what they do with the killers and all. So the survivors are named what they are, like Laurie Strode, Detective Tapp. So the killers, I don't know if it's a copyright thing or if they just want to have their own mark on these people. So say Freddy Krueger, he's not known as Freddy Krueger, he's known as the Nightmare. Michael Myers is known as the Shape. Ghostface is known as the Ghostface. They have a very weird mantra of how they call them. It's just really interesting. Like I think the Jigsaw Killer is I think just called the Pig. So I don't exactly know how and why. I think that might be the ultimate reality they try to portray in their own way. It's really cool. If you guys checked it out, definitely do it.
Them naming them weird shit probably has to do with licensing, if I had to guess. Because if they you know what I mean? Like if they name it weird shit, but it's the look is based on the character.
Oh no,
that's fine.
Yeah, that's why I'm just confused because it is the exact killer. It is the exact music. Like see Halloween that plays in the background. They have the actual like say with Saw. They give you the Gideon meat packing plant, which is copyrighted and trademarked. Detective Tapp is trademarked, yet he's called Detective Tapp. But yet the killers are alternate named, but it's the exact killer. I don't really understand. There is a reason behind it. I don't think it's copyright and trademark just because they trademark their own, and the actual DLC is called like Friday the 13th chapter, Nightmare on Elm Street chapter. I just don't understand. I think it might be something for the game lore. I don't really know. But yeah, they actually have agreements with the studios, so I don't really know what's up. With
Either that, or maybe it's like they already have to pay for so much licensing that maybe it's just cheaper to not call him Freddy Krueger. Because then that's yet another licensing fee you have to pay. I don't know. Either that, because I mean, if the license expires, or if whoever decides to not renew it, then they'd have to take the entire game down, or at least take that character out. So I guess I don't know.
That's why I'm wondering.
Maybe it has to do with licensing, maybe it doesn't, but
yeah, it's a really strange thing. But yeah, Dead by Daylight, yeah, definitely check it out. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing because everything else is copyright and trademarked, and it's in the description. Yet the killer's name in game is not. Yeah, it's really strange.
All right, well, I'll just read through the article here quick. The Dead by Daylight universe is full of interesting lore and scary stories, especially since it can borrow from a range of licensed settings. The next set of stories set in the Dead by Daylight canon are part of an upcoming season of content known as Tome, which includes in-game challenges and new cosmetics. This tome is based around Saw, which means that a previous killer and survivor are getting the spotlight. The tome's new stories will be based around Killer the Pig and survivor David Tapp. Players can unlock a series of cosmetics, including two new outfits, while Behavior Interactive made an especially grisly outfit for the pig. Detective Tapp gets a sillier set of threads meant for grillin' and chillin'. As for the face of Saw himself, Jigsaw isn't appearing in the game, but he does appear to be canonically in the Dead by Daylight realm. In a new trailer, he shows up to question the Observer, a mysterious character who delves into the memories of the game's cast. The Observer's unraveled a few mysteries, but that doesn't seem to impress Jigsaw much. The Pig, one of the game's cast of frightening killers, is an adaptation of Amanda Young from the films. She's armed with both a knife and explosive bear trap cages that latch around the heads of survivors. David Tapp died at the end of Saw, but was resurrected into the entity's realm. The game's newest tome will include original new stories for both these characters, similar to a recent story starring Left 4 Dead's Bill Overbeck. So pretty interesting. I put that in there just for you, JP, because I know you're such a big fan of Saw and Dead by Daylight.
Oh, it's so good. Like, I just don't know how to describe it. You guys just have to experience Dead by Daylight. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's a phenomenon. it's really fucking whacked, and it's in their own realm and universe. So it really works, and it's really just fucking off the wall. I love it. Can't wait for the sequel.
Hell yeah. All right, and the last story for the day, Respawn, or for the week, I guess I should say. Respawn making 3 new Star Wars games for EA. This is by Michael McWhirter over at Polygon. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2, and 2 more. Apex Legends and Titanfall developer Respawn Entertainment is making 3 more games set in the Star Wars universe, publisher Electronic Arts and Lucasfilm Games announced Tuesday. In addition to a follow-up to 2019 single-player action-adventure Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Respawn also has a new first-person shooter and strategy game based on Star Wars in the works. Game director Stig Amusin, who previously oversaw development of God of War 3 for Sony and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for Respawn, is working on the next game in Respawn's Star Wars Jedi series, EA confirmed. An all-new, untitled first-person shooter game based on Star Wars is being overseen by game director Peter Hirschman, whose credits include the original Star Wars Battlefront games and Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Hirschman and Respawn have just begun to work on that title, EA said in its news release. The third game is a strategy title being co-developed by Studio Bit Reactor, a studio recently formed by former XCOM developers, games industry veteran Greg Forsch. I apologize if I mispronounced that. Art director of XCOM 2 and XCOM Enemy Unknown is leading that studio. Vince Zampella, founder of Respawn, will oversee the new phase of EA's relationship with Lucasfilm Games, EA said. Release dates and platforms for Respawn's new Star Wars games were not available from the Navi computer at the time of press. Electronic Arts and Disney signed an exclusivity agreement in 2013 to make a new series of games based on Star Wars. During that time, EA has delivered 2 new Star Wars Battlefront games from Battlefield developer DICE, Star Wars Squadrons from Motive Studios, Respawn's Jedi Fallen Order, and continuous updates to BioWare's Star Wars The Old Republic. But EA isn't the only publisher making Star Wars games now these days. Ubisoft announced last year that it had struck a deal with Lucasfilm Games to develop a new a new, still untitled Star Wars game at Massive Entertainment, the Swedish studio known for its work on the Tom Clancy's The Division series. Developer Quantic Dream also revealed that Star Wars Eclipse in December, the first game set in Lucasfilm's new High Republic era for Star Wars. BioWare's role-playing game Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is also being remade for the PlayStation 5 and Windows PC. And Star Wars Hunters, a free-to-play multiplayer arena game from Zynga, recently acquired by Take-Two, is coming to Android, iOS, and Nintendo Switch sometime this year.
Nice. Yeah,
so
that's been a big topic this week. I was waiting because I had a feeling it would be on here just to see what it detailed. It's gonna be really interesting. A lot of my friends they're like, so no Battlefront 3, and in my mind I'm like, dude, the new Battlefront games are trash. Like, there's not gonna be a third one. Like, get the fuck out of here. Or as people call it, the Star Wars Battlefield 3. They're not wrong. They're not wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. I remember when that game originally came out. I didn't have an Xbox. I never will. But my other friend that Byers, he got it. And I remember it was one of the games. It was only on Xbox.
Yeah,
I believe at the time, and I think it had Xbox Live enabled, but I don't think it was multiplayer. It was leaderboards because they did that dumb shit back then. If it had leaderboards, it was live enabled. I'm like, I never understood that.
I don't remember if it actually had any type of multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't think it did. I think it was all leaderboards and Jedi score and all that stuff. Yeah. So if a game had any kind of thing that was remotely enabled to the internet, they put Xbox Live enabled, and I'm like, it's not live enabled. It's not multiplayer. But I would watch him play the game, and I was like, this game seems pretty interesting. So I don't know, man. When this game comes out, I might pick it up. I don't really know. I'd have to really look into people's like reviews of it and just like gameplay and see if I want. But like from what I remember, the game was actually really good. It kind of reminded me of what they tried to do with The Force Unleashed, except you could literally be a villain.
Force Unleashed was more of like kind of just like your generic like hack and slash like action game, like similar to like a God of War, whereas KOTOR, I think it had turn-based combat, the original one. I don't remember, but I know it was like, it basically was Mass Effect before they made Mass Effect, right? Like in the Star Wars universe. So it's about talking to all your different crewmates and all the different people in the arena and completing quests, and you know, it's your typical BioWare game, making decisions. All your decisions matter, all your relationships matter, you know, whatever. And I think it's pretty widely regarded as one of the best Star Wars games, like up there with the original Battlefront. So I'm definitely excited to see how this remake goes.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see like how it goes, because like I've been jonesing for a Star Wars game, and like I had vibes. I think Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 is on PlayStation now.
I think both of them were at some point. I don't know if they still are.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was contemplating it, but yeah, this remake, depending how it turns out, I might actually get it, just because like I've been wanting to get into like watching all the Star Wars. Like I watched obviously, like I grew up around the time where 1, 2, and 3 were the big thing. And I've seen some of the others, but I never really concepted it. So it'd be kind of cool maybe to start watching the Star Wars movies again. So it really made me think about that remake.
Yeah.
I think I might actually play it and pick it up depending on how it looks and all that stuff, gameplay, and what my Star Wars friends think of it. But yeah, it was a classic game, so I think it's cool now knowing it's on PlayStation. I think that's really, really cool, because if it was on PS2, I probably would have picked it up.
Yeah.
Now, if they ever decide, I think they really should. They're sitting on a gold mine where they could literally just remake Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 with the alpha build of 3, and they could throw it all in one game and just call it Star Wars Battlefront. I know that obviously, you know, their new version of Battlefront happened, but they probably have to call it something on top of Battlefront. But imagine if they called it Star Wars Battlefront Reloaded. I think that would be a really damn good title for that. But yeah, they're really sitting on a lot of concepts that they could do that would make a lot of money, like the Knights of the Old Republic remake. That's gonna sell like hotcakes. If they did one thing, that would sell. So
well, on the topic of this first person shooter being made by Respawn, do you think it will use the Battlefront name, or do you think that's tarnished at this point?
That's absolutely tarnished.
I agree.
Yeah, if they came out of the gates saying Star Wars Battlefront 3, I honestly would be fearful to see what people would think of that. I don't
necessarily think it would be Battlefront 3, but maybe like Star Wars Battlefront and then some type of subtitle like Star Wars Battlefront, I don't know, Imperial Wars or something like that. Something random like that, but
you know, I think well, the remake, I think, is definitely sitting there, and they could easily pick it up and do something if they really want to make Battlefront what it was, and not Star Wars Battlefield, whatever the fuck. Because now when you think about it, Battlefield and Star Wars Battlefront went to shit. So what the hell is the point of even doing those series to begin with? But I think they could really be onto something if they made a first-person shooter, which already is kind of against the Battlefront code. So I don't know if they would have Battlefront attached to it, but if you know, maybe what if they called it like Star Wars Imperial Wars or something like that without saying Battlefront? I think that could probably work.
I think that's the most likely thing, that it won't be attached to Battlefront. I think it'll just be its own thing, like its own new franchise. Because I feel like at this point, I feel like it's a very much uphill battle to try to explain to people, like, yes, this is a new Battlefront game, but it's being made by a different studio, and it's going to actually be good. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's probably better off for them to just be like, oh, Star Wars, whatever, Star Wars, fucking Rebel Warfare or something.
Star Wars, not Battlefront Warfare. All right, cool. Call of Duty Battlefield.
Star Wars, this definitely isn't Battlefront.
Like, can you imagine them trying to explain? Well, you see, it's Battlefront. It's not
but
made
it's
by the
not.
same developer, and like just with people's like shorted intelligence, they would be like, "Well, whoa, this is made by EA and Dice," and they're like, it's not EA, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, it's made by EA and Dice," and they'd be like, "Oh, god damn it."
I mean, it is still made by EA, so that is half the problem. But, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I'm really fucking excited for Star Wars, the Star Wars Jedi sequel. Jedi Fallen Order was really fucking good, and like, I'm kind of surprised by how good it was coming from EA. Not to say anything bad about Respawn, because I know that they make great games, but it's just like, there was definitely a stigma about EA Star Wars games by the time that game came out. And so for it to have been as good as it was, I'm really fucking hyped for the next game.
I just, oh god, I just, all the jokes about the new Battlefront games are absolutely hilarious. I remember when Matt was talking, and God rest his soul, he was talking about, Battlefront. Oh god, he's like, well, JP, it's not Battlefront. I don't know what this is, but named Battlefront. And then we went to go play the original Battlefront because I have it on PS2, and he goes, man, JP, we got to play Battlefront. So they have a lot to fool around with.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my god, it honestly has become its own just joke at this point. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but it came from EA, so what the hell were we expecting? But I think they have a lot of potential with Respawn. I think at least Respawn is going to be fully in control of this. I mean, EA's but just seeing them on the project is probably going to piss a lot of people off. But I think they could really do some good shit. I really do, and I'm excited to see it, and I'm really excited to get back into more Star Wars oriented things. Something else that they could do and that they really should.
What's that?
So they they didn't remake. They just up-resed Star Wars Pod Racer from the N64. If they really, really wanted to grab money besides the Battlefront Reloaded concept, I think honestly they really should make another pod racing game. I think they could really do something, and they could literally make it like an all-star pod racing game. Like honestly, the title could be Star Wars Pod Racer All Stars. I just think that would be really cool. But they have a lot to do with the series, so I feel like this is probably just the beginning of this little working relationship thing they have going on, partnership. So I hope it goes in the right direction, because man, the Battlefront thing just oh god, that did not go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could very well be seeing the revitalization of Star Wars in video games, because I mean, outside of EA's bubble, sure, so it's kind of off topic, but I know a lot of people who are excited for the, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. That comes out in April now, I believe. I know a lot of people are excited for that, so it looks pretty damn good, so we'll see what happens. But
exactly, right?
Yeah. Guys, let us know, are you excited for these Star Wars games in the comments below if you're watching it on YouTube. But guys, this has been the HexxedPhenom Gamescast for the week. If you guys didn't know, of course, this is the HexxedPhenom Gamescast. It goes live every Saturday, brings you the video game news you need to know each and every week. It goes live on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom and on podcast services around the globe. But until next time, guys, have a phenomenal week.